and go. Hello, everyone. Oh, there you are, Natasha. Sorry, I didn't see you before, but you're in now.
I am. I just thought I'd check in. Do you need anything?
Just mute Marlene. How are we all? Good. And so, yeah, to our beautiful customers online tonight, and I see a few consultants as well. If we are recording this session, and we will record it in with spotlights. So hopefully you won't be in the recording, but if you absolutely don't want to be in it, just stay on off camera. We'll have the opportunity for you to type in the chat. So between the 5 of us that are on tonight doing some presentation, I'm sure we'll be able to answer your questions. So my name's Claire. I live in Canberra. I've been doing Thermomix for about 13 years, and I started with the TM31, progressed my way through the 5, the 6, and now the 7. And I've got some amazing consultants and team leaders on with me tonight. So we're going to share a little bit about vegan and vegetarian cooking with you guys. We were just discussing earlier that it's a little bit of a gap for us in our consultant team. We don't have actually any vegan consultants, and we have some who eat a fair bit of vegetarian or cook for their families in that way. But again, that is, if you love that type of cooking, you've ever considered being a consultant, we'd love to have you in our team to help share your knowledge of that type of eating. So we're going to start tonight with Joy. I'm going to spotlight Joy and myself just for the beginning. So we will always have 2 people spotlighted. That just helps with our recording. And yeah, feel free to ask questions, and let's go. Over to you, Joy.
Awesome. Thanks, Claire. So tonight I'm going to be cooking a vegetable chili. I've got my first Thermomix in September last year, so what's come up for 9 months. And I've been a consultant since January, so that's just over about 6 months being a consultant. And I jumped in to be a consultant pretty quickly because I just loved my Thermomix, loved that I could actually cook. And it's been great just hanging around, and I was definitely a type of person that wouldn't eat vegetables. I shouldn't say that to I'm doing a vegetarian one, but I think it's just opened my mind more, just being around different people and sharing different recipes and such. So I've actually got a bit more of a taste to some of those veggies because it does such a great job on them. So what I have learned though is I am a diabetic, so I find that actually the vegetarian dishes are actually really good for that as well. So what we'll do is we'll start out with the vegetable chili. Okay. So first up, we need to put 2 garlic cloves in. Thursday. Garlic cloves. Then we've got 120 grams of onion. We'll put those in. There. Long red chili. So again, I've taken all the seeds out, not to make it too hot because I don't like things too spicy. So put that in. Going to next, and this is now going to nicely chop it all up. So we'll just put this on and the cap. Okay. And definitely one thing I like about my TM7, it's not as loud, which is really good. Okay, I'll just scrape down the sides with the spatula.
So Joy, I made this for dinner tonight as well.
Oh, did you?
And I didn't have a chili, but I found a jalapeno in the fridge.
Oh, wow.
Jalapeno.
Yeah, it was very spicy.
Yes.
I was like, oh my gosh.
Well, I guess it makes you drink more water, which is good for you as well. So. You can see here that looks quite nice, nicely chopped up. Okay, so moving on to the next. Now we're going to put vegetable oil in there. Okay, then I've just mixed all my ground cumin, coriander and cinnamon together, so I'll just put that in now. Let me just tick those off. I generally just don't measure out the salt as much. I sort of know around about what that teaspoon is now. Put that, some salt, and then we'll put some ground black pepper. Okay. So put all that in, and now we're basically up to just cooking it for 3 minutes. So here we go. Okay, so that's underway for 3 minutes and just heating it up to about 120 degrees. And I'm sure I'm going to get all those nice aromas that come out when I actually start to do that. As I said, it's great to have all these different types of vegetables. And the interesting thing I've looked up these black beans, which we're going to go in tonight. Black beans actually really, they give you that high protein, that fiber. But what I also found out is they also help you to control the blood sugar levels, which again helps me with my diabetes as well.
That's amazing.
Yeah, there's always something good.
Yeah, they seem to be in a lot of great Thermomix recipes too. So Joy, while that sautés, what we might do is just get started with Melissa, and you guys can sort of alternate. How's that sound? And I'll take myself off for a little bit.
That's good. I'm Melissa. Hi, I've been a Thermomix consultant for 8 years. I started overseas in Spain, and then when I came back home to Australia, I picked it up pretty quickly again. This recipe tonight is inspired by my cousin, who is also a customer. She makes this every second week at a minimum, if not every week, and she's been doing it since she got her Thermomix about 3 years ago. So she raves about it, and I wanted to share it with you. It's vegetarian sausage rolls. I'm just going to zoom in on my ingredients. It's pretty basic. So I'm going to throw in an onion here. It's 180 grams. And then that's just going to chop for 3 seconds. Then we're going to scrape down our bowl, always clockwise in case you haven't already learnt that, just so you don't cut your spatula. Then we're going to throw in, got some dried oregano there and some oats. That's 100 grams of walnut halves. And that's ready now. So at this step, and this is where my big tip comes in, my cousin that makes it all the time, her big tip is to get any vegetables that you've got left over in your fridge that you want to use up, and especially loves it with pumpkin, peas, and carrots, and anything you want to use up, just chuck it in there as well. You can also increase the feta, which we're going to put soon. So that's a 3-second chop, again, very quick. And we're going to go in there and just scrape the sides again. Now we have here feta cheese. So you can, this is just a normal feta cheese. I'm Greek, so I'm very particular about feta cheese, but you can use a vegan feta cheese or a vegetarian or a lactose-free feta cheese if you prefer. The vegan one doesn't have quite the nice flavor of the real stuff, but you can add some nutritional yeast to give it a bit more of that saltiness, and that'll pick it up. Then I'm going in with some breadcrumbs. So again, if you're chucking in extra vegetables, you're going to want to add a little bit more breadcrumb to soak up that moisture. Got 3 eggs ready cracked here. And it's asked me for tamari. So tamari, if you don't know, is just a gluten-free alternative for soy sauce, but I'm just using soy sauce tonight. But there is a little tip here. So it says to put 1 tablespoon. If you're like me and you try to avoid dirtying anything in the kitchen, and I do love this bit on the TM7, I'm just going to bring it a little bit closer. You'll see that I can also just put my scale on directly. And if you know your weight, so I know a tablespoon is 20 grams. It's not always, it depends on the ingredients, but most liquids except for oil will be pretty much the same as the meals. And so there you go. I've done that without dirtying my teaspoon. And now this is going to mix for 20 seconds. So if you want to dash over, and then you can pop back over to me.
Thanks, Melissa. You go, Joy.
Great. Am I on mute? I think no. Yep. Okay, so where we're up to now, we've now done that cooking. And it's smelling great. So now we're up to putting in our canned tomatoes. So again, you could get any type of tomatoes that you would like. I've just used some diced tomatoes. And going to put in the water as well. So again, I pre-measured the water out, which is always good to do, about 200. And then just a little bit of sugar to go in. Put that in there. And then we're actually ready to go again. And what we're going to do now is start to steam those vegetables. So now moving into actually using the Varoma. So with the Varoma, with the lid on, but not the cap, what I'll do is grab the dish, put that on, and then you can weigh all your vegetables through this mechanism as well. I've obviously cut mine up, so we've got some nice pumpkin. So we'll put the pumpkin in the dish. And then next we have is the cauliflower florets. So let's put those in here as well. And now what we're going to do is actually stack the steaming. So now what I'm going to do is put this on. So add. Okay. So these actually, got to read that right now again. So this is the capsicum. So we've got a full red capsicum. It's in slices. So it's going to be a nice, colourful dish also by the end. So it's quite attractive, particularly if you're trying to serve someone that, a bit like me before, that didn't like vegetables. So we'll just put all those in. Okay. Then we're going to put the tray in. Yeah. And then on that tray, we are now going to put our zucchini. So we've got zucchini here. Just slice that up into rounds about 1 centimetre thickness. So we put those on the top. Okay. And now, after many layers there of different cooking, we can add the lid. And now we're actually going to go and cook up that mixture there, and at that same time start steaming those veggies, all those layers of veggies. So this is going to take 15 minutes, so I'll put this on and pass over to the next person that wants to share where they're up to with the recipe.
Amazing. Thank you, Joy. So Melissa, if you continue, and then Rosie, once Melissa's done the rolling part, you can take over.
Okay, so I've just got ready rolled puff pastry here. I've let it defrost. It defrosts very, very quickly, so you can just put it out when you start the recipe. It says to use 2 sheets, but in testing it, I do find I need a little bit more. And if you bulk up with vegetables, you'll probably use the whole 6 sheets from the packet. Now, I've cut this down the length of the sheet. And what I'm going to do, there's a little tip, is to put your filling along the one side. Now it says a quarter filling, but of course if you're using, I'm using a little bit more pastry than it says because I find it's too full with just the 2 sheets. Now I'm going to put one side here and I'm going to put the other on the opposite side, and I'll show you why when I'm rolling. And speaking of my cousin, the vegetarian, her other favorite recipe is the tempeh bolognese. And she's made it for me and it's absolutely delicious. So if you're looking for vegetarian recipes, highly recommend that one. So here's where the way I've laid out the filling comes in handy, because I can use my the plastic from underneath the sheet to give it a good roll and a little overlap. And now I'm going to cut that. Just going to move it out of the way first so I can finish my other side. And conversely, from the other side, I'm going to do the opposite and just give it a bit of a roll. And there you go. So I'll keep going with those, but I'll just show you how to finish them. So it says to cut them into 6. That's if you want minis. So I just cut straight in. And now I'm using my baking mat, which hopefully a lot of you have. It was a host gift for a long time, up until the beginning of July. I'm just going to lay them down.
Well, last week's gale force winds have now been removed.
Just with speed, I'll show you how I finish them now, and then I'll come back and finish the rest. But once I've placed all my rolls on my mat, I brush them with some milk. And that'll give you a nice crispy finish. And then the recipe says to use sesame seeds, but I'm using everything bagel seasoning because it's just the most delicious thing around. It's a mix of garlic and onion flakes, as well as sesame seeds and poppy seeds. There is a recipe for this on Cookidoo, which I've made my own when I've made bagels. So another recipe recommendation, bagels and everything bagel seasoning. So that now is my sausage rolls. They're going to go in the oven for 20 minutes, and then you can pop back and see the finished result.
Thank you, Melissa. We'll come back to you, and we should have enough time to be able to see those cooked as well. How amazing. So curiously, if you are a vegan, type in the chat, because a couple of the recipes that we're doing tonight, we might need to talk substitutions for. Otherwise, over to you, Rosie. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Rosie. I have been a consultant for a couple of years now. This is my second cooking class online and my third in total, and it's always a mess. So hopefully I can keep it together. Tonight I'm going to make the spaghetti with broccoli, chili, and pine nuts. This is actually in my little favorites folder. We make it quite often. Not all of the kids love it, but sometimes they just have to suck it up because mum wants to eat what she wants to eat. So I've already done a couple of the steps. So I've got here my Parmesan and zest, which I've grated together in the Thermomix. Then transferred into a separate bowl. I've weighed my broccoli into the varoma, where it's going to sit until it's ready to steam. And I have it already inserted butterfly whisk. I'm not sure if you'll be able to see it in there. This, if you don't know, is your butterfly whisk, and it always goes to the left side of your highest blade. That's already in there, and I have already boiled the water. So we're going to set our step as the pasta step. So if you are new to TM7, you literally click on the 3 little dots next to on the step, and then click set as current step, and it'll take you there. Now, this is the controversial part of this recipe. You do need to crack your spaghetti in half. So if you're Italian, don't come at me. That's just what the recipe says. But so I'm going to weigh in here. Make sure it's there. I'm going to pop 300 grams of spaghetti. A little bit over, that's okay. And a couple of teaspoons of sea salts. You don't need that much because there is a bit of stock in it at the end. You don't have to be too salty. I'm going to tick that off, tick the salt off, push next, and then we're just going to pop our lid on. Always make sure you have a little cap on it. And then that's going to cook for 5 minutes So I don't know, Claire, do you want to do something else for
Yeah,
5 minutes?
so maybe we'll jump to Natasha now. Natasha's going to do the cashew sour cream for us.
Hi,
Hey,
I've
welcome.
been a Thermomix consultant for about 6 months, just like Joy. I think we came on a really similar time. And I just love my Thermomix. I didn't think I'd ever be a consultant. So many people said you'd be great. And I was like, no, 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 not for me. So, things change. And it's kind of been, not even kind of, it's been amazing just being able to blatantly share the love because, yeah, I love it. It's helped me a lot. So tonight we're making that, it's called vegan sour cream or cashew sour cream when you look it up. And the first step is to put in a couple of cloves. Well, it says 1 clove of garlic, but mine are a bit tiny. So I'm going to chuck them in. And it's also asking for fresh chives, but I actually made that, that really yummy crispy smashed potato with feta cheese spread. So I don't have any chives left. Mine are oversight. I'm going to blitz my garlic. I've made this recipe a lot, and actually the garlic and chives are just sort of a little decorative element that you put on at the end. So I actually often omit this altogether because the garlic is pretty powerful, the raw garlic on top, and it's just quite personal. So that's an easy first step. I'm going to set that garlic aside. And the next step is kind of the main step because what you do is blitz everything up together and then you cook it. So it's kind of like a savory custard / bechamel. So it's not really a good one if you need something straight away. It's more of one that you can have prepared. I did some retreat catering a couple of weeks ago and we used it for our nachos and everyone was dying for it. They needed the recipe. They wanted to know what was going on. They couldn't believe it that it was vegan. So we've got 120 grams of cashews. And what's pretty fun, if you don't know with your 7, is if you just get close to the amount of grams, it will check off your checkbox for you. Oops, but I went way over. You can just check your little box and it'll move you on to the next step. I need water. Let's go. She's an organised girly. I actually played tennis with my family this Arvo. And yeah, when you do these things, you realise how fit you are. I've just been having recovery time on the couch. Salt. An onion and lemon juice, and then we're going to snip them up and then turn it on to cook. So perhaps we can zoom off to someone else because I realize I'm a little unprepared. But I've got my lemons and my onion. I'm going to pop them in, chop it, and then the next step is to put it on to cook. It's pretty easy.
That's cool. Thanks, Natasha. So that takes about 5 minutes to cook, yeah?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah, it's not long.
And
Yeah.
Rosie, how long do you have left? 2 minutes. All right, I'm going to get my step on and then you can take over, Rosie. So I think I have like a couple of minutes melting as well. So I'm making the chocolate tofu mousse pots. I don't know if anybody's made these, but they're super delicious and yeah, really healthy. I'm making mine extra healthy tonight, so I will tell you how I'm doing that. All right. So the first thing I want to do is I've got some dark chocolate. Now it says dairy free. I actually really like the Whittaker's Dark Ghana for cooking, and it's also quite a good price given how expensive chocolate is at the moment. And so I've just got the Whittaker's Dark Ghana. Pretty sure it's not dairy free, but it is about over 70% dark chocolate. So that one goes in. I've also got about 30 grams of cacao powder. So that goes in. A little bit of this one is actually soy milk, but it does say to use almond milk. So for any of these recipes that we generally do dairy free, you can make your own nut milks, or there's a really beautiful one, the macadamia and hemp milk is really great as well. And so if you are making your own nut milks, you can do a lot of these vegan and dairy free. So 70 grams of milk. Now it says caster sugar. I'm going to use brown rice malt syrup and it works. So you can use any type of sweetening that you like. I think if you don't have any sweetening in it, is a little bit tasteless. So you'd probably need extra chocolate if you didn't want to have any sweetening, but I think you need just a little bit. And then just a pinch of salt. So I am going to cook that for 2 minutes. And then I reckon, Rosie, you're probably ready. I'm cooking for 2 minutes.
Yeah, pretty much. So my step just finished, and I'm now putting the broccoli in the Veroma on top. And that's going to cook for another 5 minutes. So I don't know, is someone else ready to do their?
Yeah, I've got mine. I whizzed it up, and like Claire said, it is 5 minutes. So now I just scraped down the sides, and it's just cooking for 5 minutes.
It's so quiet. Like mine is busy steaming, and I can barely hear it.
Mine's the same.
Yeah, I keep having to look at the screen to make sure it's actually working and on.
I know. And look, it doesn't matter what model Thermomix you have, we're doing Thermomix cooking tonight. If you don't have a TM7, it just means you won't have the TM7 recipes, but all of these you can use on any of the Thermomix. So we haven't chosen any only TM7 ones tonight. And I think they're probably only the ones that have open cooking, aren't they?
That's what it seems to be.
Yeah, because everything else is accessible in the 6, and then it's only the ones, the mousse recipe, yep, I'll share that now. Yeah, it's only the ones that have browning mode that you can't do in the 5 or the 31.
Yeah, the steps for this are like the same. The only difference is that it's doing steam mode, which is slightly different, but you just boil it. It just boils it in the 6 versus doing steam mode. I don't actually know what the difference is between boiling water and steam mode.
Boiling water probably wouldn't go up to 1 Veroma temperature.
Yeah, I mean, this is saying 100 degrees. Oh, so Veroma temperature is what, 120?
Yep.
Yeah, okay, so this is just 100. Mine's still got 3.5 minutes, so.
I'm also loving the kettle mode, because I know my sister was flexing that her kettle, she was like, no, you guys are like, you don't understand. You have to have a kettle that heats your water to 80, 90, 100. And now I realize I do have that. And our kettle's also dying. Someone's complaining about the kettle dying. I was like, well, that's fine, because the Thermomix can be our new kettle. It looks like Claire's ready.
I am. So it's just telling me to transfer. So here's my chocolate mix. That's the chocolate, the cacao, the rice malt syrup. And I'm just going to put that into a bowl. And it's super rich and amazing right now. All right, so you don't have to worry about doing it thoroughly, because I'm going to add it back in a sec. And then my next step is some silken tofu. So this is the silken tofu. Hang on, just need to drain it a bit more. I probably would give it a bit of time out of the tub to drain, because that had quite a bit of liquid that had come out since. So that one goes in the Thermomix. And I'm actually just going to blitz that for speed 4.
Smells good.
Look how rich it is.
Very nice.
All right, and then my next step is to add this back in and give it another mix. So these are very, very easy. So there was sort of a question around if you couldn't have soy product. I would say if you are vegan and you can't have soy, you're going to have a lot of trouble. But if you are vegan, and if you're vegan, you can't have soy, you probably just won't make this one. But if you can have eggs and stuff, I'd make the normal mousse. So this is just if you want something a little bit different, or you don't want the egg component. So this could be really great if you do have egg allergies as well in the family.
And
But you
Claire, I
love your
think
chocolate mousse.
there's another avocado mousse for vegans, isn't there?
Yes.
Yeah.
Spot on. Good remembering of that one. So yeah, what is that one called? It's called, I can find that one.
you'd find it. And the other thing, because I have a vegan friend and I have this tradition of always cooking him sweets. And so I'm about to drop this vegan tiramisu recipe in the chat because that's his, like, we love that. And it's hard to believe that it's vegan. It's just so delicious. Oh, I'll try and label it. But yeah, I really recommend that.
So I've just put the healthy chocolate mousse in the chat. And just checking, that one is also vegan, as long as you use dairy-free dark chocolate. But it's got the dark chocolate, avocado, coconut cream, maple syrup, cacao. And don't put the whipped cream on top. So I'm just going to give that a little bit scrape down.
Yeah, my sour cream's ready as well.
Oh, excellent. Talk us through
so
that
ironic.
one, Sasha.
Yeah, it's all cooked now, so it's looking really. It smells beautiful. I was a bit cynical. I was like, what's gonna have onion in it? I just had to trust. Anyway, so right now it does just look like kind of a thick paste, and I love it. Once it's refrigerated and it's cold, honestly, people like it better than sour cream. I've had it at that retreat and I had sour cream left over and none of this left over. So it's worth a try, especially if you've got a vegetarian friend. It'll probably knock their socks off.
Awesome. So I'm actually about to take the veggies off and put the black beans in.
I'm trying to find you, Joy. I can't find you.
I'm here. Can you see me?
No. Rosie, can you see Joy?
I just see whoever's
Oh,
talking.
here she is. She's right at the end. Why?
Wrap myself around there. So the veggies are now just coming off. So they're looking really great. I'll put them on the lid as a nice thing for the drainer. So you can see here, particularly with the cauliflower, broccoli, and that, it's just really nice colours and beautiful and crisp. Now take that off, and now we're going to put the can of black beans in. So I've drained and rinsed the black beans, and we'll just put those in here as such. Okay. Then basically what we're going to do now is also put the cooked veggies back in to the dish. Those all in. It's going to get pretty full in there, but I'm sure it's going to be really nice. Okay. They are in. Next. So now basically I'm going through to cook for about another 5 minutes on 120 degrees, and then we're pretty close to being completed.
Awesome. And I've just put my little garlic garnish on, and that's pretty much ready. Someone asked how long will it last. I mean, if it makes it to the fridge, I'd say at least a week, but often it just gets gobbled. See how you go.
I'm going to show you the finished sausage rolls if you can bring me back over, Claire. If you have a look over here, that's them. And they taste absolutely like the real meat thing. So much so that I had to grab my Heinz. But I would say they're even better than an actual meat sausage roll because they're just so much lighter and you don't get that greasy, yucky after feeling. So yeah, they're amazing.
That was so quick. Did you just cook those?
No, I had one batch going.
Okay.
The other ones are only 11 minutes away, so they are very quick. And I'm excited to mix different vegetables and things in future. But yeah, the everything seasoning was a real game changer. And there was just one tip I wanted to give. At the end, there's a bit of mix around the blades, and I don't know if everybody knows the turbo trick. So if you've got mixture around your blades and you want to get it out without sitting there for ages, just flick turbo, go into your modes and use turbo mode for 1 or 2 seconds, and it'll flick all the filling around to the side, and you can use that for cake mixes or pancake batters or anything that kind of sticks around the blade, and it'll flick it all onto the side, so then you just grab your spatula and scoop out the little bits. So that's it for the sausage rolls. Thank you.
That's great for dough as well.
Thank you, Melissa. We'll come back to you at the end to show all of our photos at once. So with my chocolate, this is what it looked like. I haven't spooned it all out, but I just put it into these little yogurt jars that you can get in the mix shop. So this is let me just show you the consistency. So these will set. This is sort of the consistency when you first get it out. So it's quite thick, and you can just spoon that into your pots. And I do have some made earlier. And it only took about an hour to set. But the texture is amazing. So these are ones I made just earlier today. And you can see it's like pretty much like mousse consistency. Yeah, it tastes amazing too. So
It does look yum.
it's pretty good.
Yeah. Why didn't I get that dish?
Well,
I'll have to try it now.
Joy, next time.
Yeah.
And that's why we love doing classes too, is because, and being consultants, because you actually get to try things you wouldn't normally do. Like I probably would never have made, tofu chocolate pots before, but they're really great. So yeah, glad I got the opportunity. Where are you up to, Rosie?
Am I on? Can you hear me?
You're on.
Yeah. So my broccoli wasn't really steamed enough. I don't know what I've done, but probably the error. So I put it on for a little bit longer. Probably could use a little bit more, but so I'm going to take that off and put it into a thermoserver.
It'll also cook a little bit longer in your thermoserver.
In the thermoserver, yeah, I know. I always panic every time when it's not cooked to how I think it's supposed to, but you're right. So I've tipped out the broccoli from there, and then I'm going to actually drain my pasta in the sink. So I'll be back in 2 seconds.
So you know how I said that I made the chili stuff that Joy made, and it was quite spicy because I put a jalapeno in instead. My daughter's just eating a bowl and she's dying over there. She probably won't show her face, but
Yeah, the other one I love that is hotter than I expect is the taco seasoning. I love having the taco seasoning handy. That's a recipe in Cookidoo as well. And it is a bit much for me. Like I've gone soft, but it is a really great, really handy recipe to have in the cupboard.
it is, isn't it? Yeah, I love using the taco seasoning as well.
Okay, so I've taken out the butterfly whisk. Haven't added my oil. This is why I have to have a Thermomix, because I forget steps all the time, even when I have a Thermomix. Imagine me if I was just like freewheeling it with a phone.
I'm totally the same. I literally even almost skip steps with the guided cooking.
Yeah, all the time. Anyway, so I've just popped some oil in there. You are meant to put it in before you drain the pasta. Okay, with that. So I've got the broccoli and the pasta in here. I'm gonna pop in my garlic cloves. But I always put extra. I feel like then it's never enough. So I've got 3 instead of 2. And then I've also got 2 long red chilies. I'm popping them in, taking them off. Next, where's my lid? The lid goes back on with the cover. That just chopped. So 3 seconds, speed 7. And then see that all chopped up. Oh, smell the spice from here. Definitely don't put your face over the bowl when it's got chili or onion in it, because you will get a face full. So I'm just scraping that off the sides of the bowl now, so it's all in the base. And then we're going to add our pine nuts. So there's 130 grams of pine nuts. Where is that? Ooh, I don't know if I have enough. Anyway, that'll do. And then we're going to put 40 grams of oil in. So it seems like a lot of oil, but this is like a big part of like the sauce on the pasta. So trust the process. And then I'm going to pop the lid back on that, and it's going to saute for 5 minutes. It's going to just toast those pine nuts and yeah, saute that garlic and chili as well. So yeah, 5 minutes of that. Is there anyone else who's got 5 minutes worth of?
I have vegan butter to make. Joy, is yours all done?
Yeah, I've just put it into the thermo server, and I'm now just dishing it up for a couple of dishes now.
Amazing. All right. Well, I'll unspot you for a sec, and then we'll come back very soon. So I reckon we're going to wrap up nice and early tonight. All right. So vegan butter. Who's made it before? Who's had a go? I love it. It's delicious. I would use this instead of normal butter anytime. So it's actually called vegan butter. It's got 26 ratings at 4.4 stars on Cookidoo. So it's a winner dish. I think anything above 4 stars is amazing. And its base is coconut oil. Now, actually, I probably should have melted this first. So it's Canberra. It's pretty cold today. I think we had like -3 this morning. So the first thing is to soak your cashews. And you do that for about 3 to 6 hours. So I've soaked those today, just in some filtered water with some salt. So go with that one, then you rinse that. You then put 3 teaspoons of lecithin. Now you can get soy lecithin or you can get sunflower. I couldn't find sunflower today. I probably would have preferred that, but I got soy lecithin. And you just soak that with a little bit of boiling water for about half an hour or more. So that was done for more than half an hour. I've got coconut oil, which is the base of this butter. So that just goes in, and I'm pretty sure I'm just going to heat that up. Now, because it's so hard, what I might do first is just go into manual mode and blitz it. So like break it up first so that it's nice and quick. So manual mode, I'm just going to go about speed 8. So if you do have a 7, it's pretty easy to jump between settings. So there's my nicely chopped coconut oil, ready to melt that down. And we have an amazing opportunity to, get out of that one. If you need to find your recipe ever, you just go pull down, swipe down, that takes you to your cooking center. And I'm going to melt that. So yeah, if you would like to get a TM7 yourself, every single one of us have just earned a TM7. And we've got a whole bunch of newbies coming in earning TM7s as well. So it's actually the best way to get a Thermomix at the moment. Also the fastest way to get a Thermomix, because there's about a 2 to 3 month delay in the machines. Unless you're coming on board as a consultant, and then you get to get it super early.
Just like that.
So yeah, if you are curious to come in and learn all about your Thermomix while you're earning, it's a pretty fun gig. Isn't it, Rosie?
Yeah, I like it. I mean, I've been doing it for 2 years and I didn't think I would last more than 3 months. So.
And where are you heading off to in September, Rosie?
Fiji. And you're coming with Claire
Yeah.
and I don't know how it works for BDMs, but I've just earned a Fiji trip, which is one of our like incentive programs. So yeah, we're off to Fiji for 4 days in September, which is pretty exciting. I haven't bought anything, so
That's right. You don't need to buy much. You get given lots of gifts, so don't pack too heavy.
no. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty cool. Pretty cool perk of the job, being able to travel overseas.
Just you'll notice when you've got a 7, if you're going speed 2 or below, you can actually take the lid off while it's working. just so you can have a quick look. And then once you put the lid back on, it starts cooking again. So it's a pretty cool feature that is new to the Thermomix. So yeah, just a few little things like that along the way that you wouldn't even know you needed until you get it.
Yeah. It's actually amazing like how irritating it is now using my 6. Like I love my 6 and I'm definitely keeping it, but all the things that have changed, it's like the user experience is enhanced, right? There's both great machines, but the user experience, like getting a new iPhone. It does the same things, but it's like just smoother. Like when you take the lid off, it automatically tears, which
Yeah,
is
that is
like
great. Yeah.
amazing.
So I'm just going to add a few ingredients: apple cider vinegar, sea salt, filtered water, olive oil, and turmeric. Just a tiny little bit of turmeric. And that's really just for coloring, just to make it a little bit yellow rather than white. So I've salt and turmeric. Click on the step that you want. I've got 140 grams of water. Seems a little bit like counterintuitive putting oil with water. That's okay. We're going to make this work. And then 50 grams of extra virgin olive oil. All right. Add my drained cashews. Hang on, let me just check I got that right. Yep. My drained cashews and my soaked lecithin. So that's just a binding agent. I'm sure there are alternatives. I didn't sort of get a chance having a look because I actually found some. But honestly, Google's your best friend when it comes to substitutions. And I'm going to be a little bit of volume. I've got 1 minute at speed 10.
Okay, I'm ready for my next, so I can follow me. Okay, so I have now got toasted pine nuts with the chili in there. And my biggest thing I do now is I always have like a cask of wine because there's so many recipes where you need like just like 150 grams, and I'm not a big wine drinker, so instead of having a bottle that's just going to die a slow death in the fridge, I now just have a cask in my cupboard of red and a cask of white, and I use that for all of my cooking. So this recipe needs 150 grams. That's enough. And then I've got 2 tablespoons of homemade vegetable stock paste. A staple when you have a Thermomix. Next. And then that's going to cook for 3 minutes as well.
I missed all of that. Where are you up to?
It's going to cook for 3 minutes.
Okay, great. Well, I have just finished blitzing mine. Now, this is the beautiful, creamy vegan butter before it's set. So it looks amazing. You can see that the little dash of turmeric just gives it a little bit of buttery color. So this is the consistency when it comes out. And you just want to put in a container that you're happy to spoon out of. So that's going to set. I didn't pre-make one for you guys. I found when I made this last, it just didn't last a huge amount of time, and I was the only one eating it in my family because the kids, just their kids. So yeah, I found it probably only lasted about a week and a half. Yeah, but it's amazing. So just see if it tastes all right. Just tastes like a little bit of coconut oil and a little bit of olive oil mixed together. So yeah, I love this spread on, like, you know, if you make yourself some savory loaves or sweet loaves that you put in the toaster, or even just on toast if you eat bread. You could put this in cooking. So if you're making things like cakes or biscuits and you want to make them vegan, you could use it as a butter substitute as well. Look, slightly different texture though, so just be prepared for altered result. But yeah, it's excellent. So I'll make sure that we share a photo of this on the Canberra Thermomixes and South Coast Thermomixes Facebook groups. So we'll get photos of all of our dishes and share those so you guys can see the end results as well. It's getting rid of the bubbles.
Was mine the last dish to finish? Who else is still
I
finishing?
think so. Did we
No.
do everything, guys?
Well, we've got a minute or 55 seconds left. So this thermoserve is probably not big enough to stir through the sauce, the oval one. So I'm going to put it into,
I love those bowls. They're my favorite.
yeah, I love it. It's such a good, like it's got a handle, it has a little pouring spout, and has the lid that fits in like beautifully. So I use this when I'm doing like any dough rising, and it really cuts down on waste as well because I'm not needing to cover it with cling wrap or anything either. So I love it. 14 seconds. So basically what we do once that finishes is we put the wine, chili, pine nut sauce through. We put our Parmesan lemon mixture in. So I'll put that in now. Pour that through. You see that? Oh, it smells so good. Love it.
Looks like it makes a really good amount.
Yeah, it does. I mean, the bowl's not completely choppers, but it's pretty full. So
How many grams of pasta was that, Rosie?
300.
Yeah, okay. That's
Yeah,
pretty.
so you can, I mean, it's quite flavorful too, so you could absolutely do a full packet. Have to obviously adjust the cooking times. But it's so beautiful. I'm not sure if you can see. It's beautifully silky and covers all the pasta nicely. And then you just pop some salt and pepper on top, and you're good to go.
I think it actually works really well breaking up the spaghetti because otherwise it would be way too hard to mix up.
Yeah, it's less messy when you're cooking, feeding children as well when you have broken spaghetti. Anyone who's Italian would probably die seeing that because it's a big no-no.
I'm going to bring everyone back on, but the other thing, so Merrily, you've mentioned that, holding the bowl. You sort of intended to hold a Thermomix bowl when it's really full from underneath anyway, even with the TM6, TM5, TM31. So that's the ergonomical way to hold a Thermomix when it's heavy. With the 7, it is a little bit rounder, but you do have the ability to hold it with 2 hands. You're also not pulling it out of the Thermomix with 1 hand. Because it's open everywhere, you can actually just use both of your hands to carry it everywhere you go. And so even though it's just that little bit bigger, it's designed to be used with 2 hands. So, and yeah, when pouring, just holding underneath gives you the balance of the weight if it's full. So yeah. I don't know if
And you
that's
do
helpful.
like my bowl is like you can feel that it's been warm, but you definitely could not burn yourself holding onto it. So I think if you have got weak wrists or anything like that, it's good to have that extra space to be able to grip onto.
Yeah, but yeah, I was a little bit concerned too when I had to play with it the first time. But I just realized it's a different way of holding your Thermomix. We get so used to the way we do things with the model that you get used to using that it just is a little bit of an adjustment. But for anyone out there who's only ever had a TM7, you wouldn't even know the difference. You'd be like, but that's how you work with a Thermomix. So yeah, awesome. So guys, have we all got our finished results? Better get mine here. All right. Are we ready to show them? Look at that. All right, ready? Photo time. Oh, hang on 1 sec. Just gotta get rid of the chat. Okay. Amazing. All right, well, if anyone has any questions, you're welcome to stick around. We'll stop the recording now, but you can talk to us about questions you have about the Thermomix, about cooking, about Cookidoo. And again, we'd love you to join our teams. We're in a huge buzz space at the moment with Thermomix. It's just going off, and our mission is to beat Portugal, and they are the highest selling country in the Vorwerk family at the moment. So Yeah, we're super excited. We can definitely beat them. They've got 10 million people. We've got 22 million or plus people. And so we've got an amazing opportunity to get as many Thermomixes in people's homes as possible because they're such an incredible product. And we really, really do believe that everyone deserves to have one. So yeah, look forward to hearing all of your creations and please share them in our Facebook groups as well.